What if I told you there's a book older than anyone alive today, filled with profound wisdom that could completely transform the way you think, live, and connect with the world around you? This isn't just any book, it's something far more rare and extraordinary. It's a century-old text filled with ancient knowledge that has been lost to time, forgotten by most, hidden in plain sight, and waiting for someone, maybe you, to rediscover it. By the end of this video, you'll not only learn the secrets contained in its pages, but also how to apply them directly to your life in ways that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. But first, let me ask you this: what if the answers you've been searching for your entire life were written down over 100 years ago, locked away in words that most people would never take the time to understand? What would you do with that kind of knowledge? Let me tell you how it all began. I stumbled upon this book in an old, dusty library that felt like something out of a movie. You know, the kind: endless shelves of forgotten, weathered books, the air thick with the smell of time itself. I wasn't looking for anything in particular, but something about this book caught my eye. Its cover was different, worn leather etched with strange symbols, intricate designs that seemed to hum with meaning. It didn't even have a title. Just touching it gave me chills, like I was holding something alive. I opened it slowly, and the handwriting inside was almost illegible, written in an old, looping script. At first, I couldn't make sense of it. But as I read more, I realized I was holding something remarkable. The words weren't just about history or philosophy. They were deeper than that. They spoke about life itself in ways that felt timeless, yet strangely modern. It felt like the book wasn't teaching me something new, it was reminding me of something I already knew, something buried deep within me but long forgotten. One of the very first passages I read struck me hard. It said, "The answers you seek are not out there in the world, they are within you. The world is but a mirror, reflecting the truth you already carry inside." At first, I didn't understand what it meant.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
But the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. How often do we search for meaning outside ourselves? We look for answers in books, in other people, in achievements, in wealth. But what if all along we've been carrying the answers inside us? What if the real journey isn't about finding, but about remembering? The book didn't just stop at vague advice, it offered practical guidance too. One of the most powerful ideas it shared was this: your thoughts are the architects of your reality. What you focus on grows, and what you ignore fades away. If you wish to change the world around you, start by changing the world within you. Think about that for a moment. How often do we let our thoughts run wild without realizing the power they hold? Every thought you have, every belief you carry, every story you tell yourself shapes the way you see the world. And the way you see the world shapes the way you live in it. This simple idea blew my mind. It made me realize that so much of my life was being shaped not by what was happening around me, but by the way I was choosing to think about it. For example, how often do we focus on what's wrong instead of what's right? How often do we let fear and doubt take over instead of imagining the possibilities? The book challenged me to take control of my thoughts, to stop being a passive observer of my own mind and start being an active creator of my reality. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The book wasn't just about personal growth, it was about something much bigger. One passage said, "You are not separate from the universe. You are a part of it, and it is a part of you. To understand yourself is to understand the cosmos. To master yourself is to shape the infinite." This idea hit me like a lightning bolt. It made me realize that we're not just insignificant specks in a vast, uncaring universe. We are the universe in human form. Every thought we have, every action we take, every connection we make ripples outward, affecting the whole. It's like we're all threads in a giant cosmic web, and when one thread moves, the entire web shifts. The book went even deeper, talking about the nature of time. It said, time is not a straight line, but a circle. The past, present, and future are not separate, they are one. To change your future, you must first change your present. And to change your present, you must learn from your past. This idea completely changed the way I think about time. How often do we feel trapped by our past or anxious about our future? But what if time isn't something that happens to us? What if it's something we can navigate, like a sailor navigating the ocean? The book taught me that by becoming fully present, by letting go of regrets about the past and fears about the future, we can begin to take control of our lives in ways we never thought possible. But the most profound lesson in the book wasn't about time or thoughts or the universe. It was about purpose. It said, every soul is born with a purpose, a unique thread to weave into the fabric of existence. The greatest tragedy is not to fail, but to never try. The universe does not ask for perfection, it asks for participation. This shook me to my core. How often do we hold ourselves back because we're afraid of failing? How often do we tell ourselves we're not ready or not good enough or not capable? But what if the universe isn't asking us to be perfect? What if it's simply asking us to show up, to try, to participate in the grand, unfolding story of existence? After reading this, I started to see my life differently. I stopped worrying so much about getting everything right and started focusing on just taking the next step, no matter how small. And the more I did that, the more things started to fall into place. It was like the universe was responding to my efforts, meeting me halfway. But here's the thing, this isn't just about me. The wisdom in this book isn't something special or exclusive. It's something we all have access to. You don't need to find a century-old book to discover it, because the truth is, this knowledge is already within you. The book is just a reminder, a guide to help you uncover what you already know deep down. So let me ask you, what are you searching for? What's the one question you've been carrying with you, the one thing you've always wanted to understand? Because whatever it is, I promise you, the answer isn't out there. It's in here. The profound ancient knowledge hidden in this book isn't just about understanding the universe, it's about understanding yourself. And the more you understand yourself, the more you can begin to live a life that's not just meaningful, but extraordinary. So here's my challenge to you. Take one idea from this video, just one, and try it. Maybe it's the idea that your thoughts shape your reality. Maybe it's the idea that time is a circle, not a line. Or maybe it's the idea that your purpose isn't to be perfect, but to participate. Whatever resonates with you, take it and put it into practice. Because knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. And remember, the answers you seek aren't out there in the world, they're already within you. You just have to be willing to look. But here's the thing, this isn't the end of the journey. In fact, it's only the beginning. The wisdom of this book doesn't stop with a single lesson, a single insight, or even a single lifetime. It's not about memorizing words or following rigid rules, it's about transformation. It's about challenging yourself to grow, to think deeper, and to become something more than what you are right now. The profound ancient knowledge hidden in this book isn't just about understanding the universe, it's about understanding yourself. And the more you understand yourself, the more you can begin to live a life that's not just meaningful, but extraordinary. So here's my challenge to you. Take one idea from this video, just one, and try it. Maybe it's the idea that your thoughts shape your reality. Maybe it's the idea that time is a circle, not a line. Or maybe it's the idea that your purpose isn't to be perfect, but to participate. Whatever resonates with you, take it and put it into practice. Because knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. And remember, the answers you seek aren't out there in the world, they're already within you. You just have to be willing to look. But here's the thing, this isn't the end of the journey. In fact, it's only the beginning. The wisdom of this book doesn't stop with a single lesson, a single insight, or even a single lifetime. It's not about memorizing words or following rigid rules, it's about transformation. It's about challenging yourself to grow, to think deeper, and to become something more than what you are right now. The book says the greatest prison is the one we build in our own minds. The door is unlocked, but only you can choose to walk through it. This line gave me chills because it's so true. How often do we trap ourselves in cycles of negativity or self-doubt, even when the way out is right in front of us? The book challenges us to take responsibility for our lives, to stop waiting for someone else to open the door and start walking through it ourselves. But it doesn't stop there. The book also talks about the importance of connection, not just with yourself, but with others. It says no soul is an island. Just as the stars are part of a constellation, you are part of something greater. To understand yourself is to understand the whole, and to love yourself is to love the whole. This reminded me that we're not in this alone. We're all connected, like threads in a vast, infinite tapestry. And when you start to see yourself not as separate, but as part of this greater whole, something shifts. You start to realize that your actions don't just affect you, they ripple outward, touching the lives of everyone around you. The book teaches that even the smallest actions can have profound effects. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of understanding, they might seem insignificant, but they can change someone's life in ways you'll never fully understand. And when you live with this awareness, when you start to see every moment as an opportunity to make a difference, life takes on a whole new level of meaning. But here's where it gets even more profound. The book doesn't just talk about connection with other people, it talks about connection with the universe itself. It says the universe is not outside of you, it is within you. To connect with it, you must first connect with yourself. For the same stars that shine in the night sky also shine within your soul. This idea blew my mind. It made me realize that the universe isn't some distant, unreachable thing, it's something we're a part of. The same energy that moves the stars and turns the seasons is flowing through us, right here, right now. And when you truly understand this, when you feel it deep in your bones, you start to see life differently. You start to see every moment, every experience as sacred. The book calls this the awakening. It says to awaken is not to change who you are, but to remember who you have always been. It is to see with new eyes, to hear with new ears, and to live with an open heart. This is what the book is ultimately about: awakening. It's not about escaping your life or becoming someone else, it's about waking up to the truth of who you are, the truth that's been there all along. And when you do that, when you truly wake up, everything changes. You start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. You start to see failures not as endings, but as beginnings. You start to see yourself not as small and insignificant, but as powerful and infinite. And you start to live not from a place of fear, but from a place of love. But here's the thing, awakening isn't a one-time event. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, a process, a lifelong practice. And the book doesn't claim to have all the answers, it simply offers a map, a guide, a reminder that the answers you're looking for aren't out there. They're within you. So let me ask you again, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it sit in the back of your mind, like a seed left on a shelf? Or will you plant it, nurture it, and let it grow into something extraordinary? Because here's the truth, this isn't just about a book. It's about you. It's about your journey, your growth, your potential. The book is just a catalyst, a spark to ignite the fire that's already within you. So take a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe. And ask yourself, what do I want to create? What kind of life do I want to live? And what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? The book ends with one final piece of wisdom, and I want to share it with you now. The greatest gift you can give the world is to be fully, unapologetically yourself. For when you shine, you give others permission to shine as well. And when enough lights shine together, the darkness cannot remain. This is your time, your moment. The knowledge is here, waiting for you. The question is, what will you do with it? But the journey doesn't end here. In fact, the real journey is just beginning. You see, the power of this century-old book isn't just in its words, it's in the action those words inspire. It's in the ripple effect of taking even the smallest step toward awakening the potential within you. The book may have been hidden in plain sight for over 100 years, but its wisdom was never meant to stay locked away. It was meant to be lived. Let me leave you with some final thoughts that have stayed with me ever since I first opened its pages. The book teaches that every moment of your life is an opportunity. Not just for yourself, but for the world. It says you are the bridge between what is and what could be. Every thought, every word, every action carries the potential to shift the course of existence. The question is not whether you make an impact, but what kind of impact you choose to make. This line changed the way I see my life. It made me realize that even the smallest decisions, how I treat others, how I use my time, how I respond to challenges, are part of something much bigger. We often think of life as a series of isolated events, but the truth is, everything is connected. And the choices you make today don't just shape your own future, they shape the future of everyone and everything around you. The book also taught me about the importance of courage. It says to walk the path of truth is not to walk an easy path. It is to face your fears, to challenge your doubts, and to rise above the illusions of the world. But know this, the moment you take the first step, the universe walks with you. This hit me so deeply because I realized how often we stop ourselves from taking that first step. We let fear hold us back, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But what if the very act of stepping forward, of trying, is all it takes to unlock the support and guidance we need? What if the universe wants us to succeed, but it's waiting for us to move first? I started applying this to my own life. I stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started taking imperfect steps. And you know what? Things started to change. Doors I never even knew existed began to open. People and opportunities appeared seemingly out of nowhere. It was like the book said, the moment I took that first step, the universe met me halfway. And then there's the lesson of gratitude. The book says gratitude is the key that unlocks abundance. To be grateful is to recognize the gifts already within your grasp. And when you recognize those gifts, you invite more to flow into your life. At first, this sounded like something I'd heard before, but when I really thought about it, I realized how often we focus on what we don't have instead of what we do. We get so caught up in chasing the next goal, the next milestone, that we forget to appreciate the incredible richness of the present moment. The book taught me to pause, to look around, and to see the beauty in even the smallest things: a warm breeze, a kind word, a quiet moment of reflection. And the more I practiced gratitude, the more I noticed how much I already had to be thankful for. But perhaps the most profound lesson of all is this: the greatest wisdom is love. Not the fleeting emotion, but the eternal truth. Love is the thread that weaves the universe together. To live with love is to align yourself with the very fabric of existence. This isn't about romantic love, or the kind of love we see in movies. It's about something deeper, what the book calls universal love. The love that connects all things. The love that inspires us to give, to create, to heal, to build, to build. The love that reminds us we're not separate, but one. The book challenged me to ask myself, am I living with love? Am I making choices from a place of fear or a place of love? Am I building walls or am I building bridges? And these questions, simple as they seem, have completely transformed the way I live. So now, I want to turn those questions to you. What would your life look like if you started living with love? If you started seeing yourself not as separate from the world, but as an essential part of it? How would your relationships change? How would your priorities change? How would you change? The book ends on a powerful note, one that still echoes in my mind every day. It says the journey never ends. Every answer leads to a new question. Every step reveals a new path. But know this: you are exactly where you are meant to be. And the journey itself is the greatest gift you will ever receive. This line gave me so much peace, because it reminded me that there's no final destination, there's no point in life where everything is perfect, where all the questions are answered, where all the struggles disappear. And that's okay, because the journey is the point. The growth, the learning, the connections, the experiences, that's what life is all about. And now, it's your turn. You've heard the wisdom of this book. You felt its truths resonate within you. But the question remains, what will you do with it? Will you let it inspire you to take that first step? Will you let it remind you of the power you already carry within you? Because here's the truth: the book may be a century old, but its wisdom is timeless. And now, that wisdom is in your hands. The rest is up to you.